Dobro jutro, good morning to everyone. My name is Elena Barrios and I work for the Spanish Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Environment. And first of all, I would like to thank the Slovenian Ministry of Environment and Spatial Planning, and especially to my colleagues Juliana, Tatiana and Neves for their kind invitation. I'm here today representing the Spanish National Contact Point for the LIFE program, and during my presentation I'm trying to give you an overview of who we are, what we do and how we work, and a little bit to tell you about the involvement of Spain in the LIFE program. So the main tasks of us as a national contact point are summarized in this slide. The most important ones are to give support to applicants and to disseminate the program. And then we also, I will go through these main two tasks during my presentation, and we also organize an annual info day in Madrid, in Spain, in coordination with the ASME, and we participate in the LIFE committee meetings in Brussels. And as a national contact point, we go every year to the training that the Commission and now the agency organize in Brussels once the call is opened. We have also a known project database just to be able to elaborate statistics of the LIFE projects with Spanish coordinators. And we also try to visit some LIFE projects with accompanying the desk officers from the Commission whenever our agenda allows it. So the resources that we have allocated to the national contact point are these ones. I mean, first of all, the national contact point is placed in a horizontal unit of the ministry, which is the budgetary office. Because before 2005, there were different national contact points depending on the strand of the program. So there was this Nature and Biodiversity National Contact Point in one of the general directorates of the ministry, and then there was another national contact point for environment, governance and environment, which was placed in another department, in another directorate. But from time to time, these directorates, I mean, the ministry was reorganized, and so this contact point was not very stable. So finally, in 2005, it was decided to join all the strands and to place the national contact point in an horizontal unit, the budgetary office, because there will be for sure always a budgetary office in the ministry, regardless of the name or regardless of its organization. So since then we've had a stable, very stable team. We are 2 civil servants and 4 people as an external assistants. But I'm the newest one. I've been working for the contact point for 3 years already. But the rest of my colleagues, the other 5, have been working with the LIFE program for more than 10 years. So they are really experienced, and I can tell you that they know the guides by heart. And we also work with the General Deputy Director, which is the official national contact point and the committee, one of the committee members, and but only, around 20% of his time is dedicated to the LIFE program. And the rest of the team, we are not full-time dedicated to the LIFE program, but more or less have 50% of our time. The budgetary resources are around 200,000 euros per year, but that's not. This is an average. It depends on mainly on the travels that we do every year. Well, to support the applicants, we have a common email address. This is the LIFE mailbox, BZN. It stands for buzón, like mailbox, and the 6 of us can access to this mailbox, and we all answer the questions the potential applicants and the beneficiaries may pose to us. We have 6 telephone lines available, and we also give support reviewing project concept notes and appointing meetings and interviews with the beneficiaries that already have a mature idea of what they want to present to the LIFE program. We have around we review around 5 project concept notes per year and have around 20-25 meetings with the potential applicants. We disseminate the program through our website in the first place. Inside the main website of the ministry, we have a section dedicated to the LIFE program, and we also organize, well, as I already said, the main info days yearly in cooperation with the Commission or with the ASME. And then after that general info day, we start traveling around Spain to attend the different workshops in the regions. I mean, in Spain we have 17 what we call autonomous communities, 17 regions. And then many of them organize info days about the LIFE program, and then we go there as the national contact point, trying to talk about the general information about the program and the novelties of the call of each year. And then the regional authorities always invite LIFE beneficiaries from the region to tell about their experience with their projects, in the application process and in the implementation process as well. In our website, we have general information about LIFE. We have frequently asked questions in Spanish as well. We include the general information of the open call, and also information about the LIFE projects approved, including the best LIFE projects. And we also have the links to the European Commission publications and the LIFE database. There's also a section about the workshops and seminars that we organize every year, and some information about the financial instruments, and a section dedicated to the search of partners. To give support to the potential beneficiaries, we have a form of project concept notes that is available on the website, and it's they can submit us a summary of their idea. I mean, this concept note is maximum 3 pages, so it's a summary of the objective, actions, and expected results of the project. And they sent us by email, and then we have some meetings. We can have some meetings with the applicants to solve concrete doubts and to give our impression, our orientations about the adequacy. I mean, if their idea fits into the LIFE program. In the national contact point in Spain, we don't do any pre-screening, and we don't analyze full proposals because it would be impossible for us due to the number of proposals that we have every year. So we just review these brief concept notes, and then afterwards we help the applicants with the completion of the proposal application, but with resolving some very concrete questions. Okay. I would like now to give you some notes about the participation, the involvement of Spain in the LIFE program. We have to take into account the population, that in Spain we have more than 40 million people, and then the protected areas of the Natura 2000 network. More than a quarter, more than 25% of Spain's territory belongs to Natura 2000 network. So just to give you an idea. We have these late years, we've had in 2014, 380 proposals submitted. Last year they were less, 280 proposals submitted in 2015. And we still have some work to do to promote the climate sub-program, because within these proposals, around 10% are from the climate sub-program, and the rest from the environment sub-program. And then also we have much more proposals from the environment and resource efficiency priority area, which is around 65%, and around 20% of the proposals are from the nature and biodiversity priority area. So there are a lot of proposals submitted with Spanish coordinators, but afterwards, these last 2 years of the new programming period, we've had 10 and last year 13% of success rate related to the number of proposals, not to the budget. Okay. What else? We have this partner searching section. It's not a database, it's just mainly a form that the potential beneficiaries can fulfill and send us, and we upload it in the webpage. But we feel it's not very active, and we find it more useful to during the regional workshops. The regional authorities usually organize during the coffee breaks or the lunch breaks what they call marketplaces, and there is an exchange of project ideas, and we feel that those marketplaces are much more dynamic to find partners. We still have a pending task, which is to promote more the transnationality, the search for partners from other countries, because in Spain we have a very national project proposals, so to say. We cooperate with Portugal and with the neighbor countries, but we don't have many transnational proposals so far. This is how it looks, our internal database. We just elaborated, not with the intention of follow with the projects, but with the intention to have in one place all the projects coordinated by some Spanish entity, and to be able to have some quick statistics and information without having to go to the Commission database and having to do the filters and the consults every time. So these are the main fields that we include in the database: the annual call, the type of proposal, the priority area, the title, and the budget initially approved that later on can suffer amendments and some changes. The language of the proposal. In that way, we checked that during the last years, among the approved proposals, we are more or less in the 50-50. So we have some around 53% of proposals submitted in Spanish, and then 48% in English. So we have a 50-50 language use. We are trying. We feel that the potential beneficiaries are more and more prepared to send the proposals in English than in previous programming periods. We also include information about the transnationality of the projects, the data of the coordinating and associated beneficiaries and their contribution, the territory where the project takes place, and the starting and ending dates, and the contact details, as I said. This database allows us to have general information. For example, we know that since the beginning of the program, since 1992, we've had around 730 projects with a European Union contribution of more than 500 million euros. So that means an average European contribution of around 800,000 euros per project. So that's only an average, because we have the nature and biodiversity projects have higher budgets normally and a longer duration than the environmental ones. And since last year, so far, in Spain, there was no support for the national co-financing, but now we have started, it's the first year it is working, a governmental foundation that belongs to the ministry has launched a call for grants to help some type of projects with the national co-financing, and it's going to be directed to nature and biodiversity and environmental governance and information projects. So not to climate and not to environment, but for only for NGOs, at least this year. So these NGOs are going to be able to apply for these grants to complement the national co-financing of the project. Well, and just to, I think I'm going right, we have some recommendations, especially for the national contact point of Slovenia, or at least what we feel is what are the positive points of our way to work. We try to emphasize the dissemination of the program and show the value and the results of the LIFE program, and to ensure the support to applicants, including the support during the revision phase. That means the monitoring of the status of the proposals. We have confidentiality due, but we have access to a proposal, and then once the proposals entered in the revision phase, we contact them if we see that they didn't read the message from the evaluators and from the commission, and just to warn them about the deadlines that they have and things like that. We also try to have a stable team of technical staff at the national contact point, well trained. We participate in the annual training in Brussels in a rotating basis, as we are 6 each year. Some of us go to Brussels, and then in reality the training is a self-training, and we try to read very carefully the documents of each call. I think they will tell you later, but for us, the essential documents, apart from the regulation and the multi-annual work program, are the guides for applicants, the guide for evaluation, and the model of grant agreement, especially its annexes 1 and 10, the annex related to the general conditions and the financial and administrative guidelines. And we try to transmit the necessity of this effort to the potential applicants, that they have to dedicate some time to study and to read thoroughly these documents. Well, we have a specialized technical staff, but it's in some way exchangeable. We have some colleagues more specialists in nature and other ones in environment and resource efficiency, but they will know how to answer the doubts of the other priority areas as well. What else I could tell you? Oh yes, and apart from the reading of the guidances every year, there's also another tool that is very useful for us, which is the frequently asked questions from the Commission webpage. With each annual call, the Commission updates from time to time this section. They include frequently asked questions in their webpage. And it's very useful to know what's the interpretation from the agency, from the Commission in some aspects of the guides that may be interpretable, so to say. And I think that's all. If you have any question about how we work or our participation in the LIFE program in Spain, you're welcome. Hvala lepa for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helena. Any question? Yeah. A part of the proposals is in Spanish. Regarding the reviewing process, how are they dealing with this?
Do you mean the language of the?
Yes.
In English, because from now on the exchange of communication, reporting, and reviewing with the Commission it's in English from this period, and the translation costs are eligible. I mean, if you want, you can write the reports in Spanish and then translate them by a third person, and these costs are eligible in this period, in this programming period. But all the communication with the Commission from now on is going to be in English, has to be in English.
Še kakšno vprašanje? Maybe I can ask you, do you have a did you translate these guidelines for applicants, or do you have in Spanish language, or a guide for evaluation, or only in English?
No, only in English.
Only in English.
In the Life Plus period, it was the Commission who translated them. Then they stopped, and the first year they were translated by the National Contact Point. But we don't have an official translation service, so it was just us trying to translate it in our best way. So after that, we decided not to translate them anymore, because there's always some parts that we can misinterpret, so it's always better to go to the original English version. So we don't translate it anymore, although many applicants ask about it.
Thank you very much.
And now they're going to report and to communicate in English with the Commission, so I think they have to be more fluent in English, so we don't translate the guides.
Thank you very much. I asked this because we have an intention in this project, capacity building, to translate everything into Slovenian language, because previous years we have a lot of demands to have this all these documents in Slovenian. So now we decided to translate into Slovenian language, and I hope it will work. Okay.
Good.
Torej, informacije tudi za vse ostale. Za letos verjetno ne bo še prišlo v poštev ali pa malo prepozno, ampak načeloma bo vsa dokumentacija prevedena v slovenščino. Thank you, Elena.